People don't realize boxing is so corrupt. Like it's like when people say corrupt, bro. Like you really people
like
don't
some people look at
understand.
some scores and be like, how the hell did that
Yeah, bro.
score?
It's just like man, it's just like boxing's so corrupt, bro. I can tell you stories. We can go on, and you'll be like, man,
Oh yeah,
it's criminal, you know. But just know, you know, for the listeners out there, just know like boxing is
yeah.
a very very corrupt.
But you've been really vocal lately. I know you were at the Crawford fight.
Right.
What'd you think about that fight, by the way?
Oh man, Crawford is amazing, bro. Crawford, you know, real good dude, special. You know, I mean, he's super talented, super good, bro. He packed the house out in Omaha, Nebraska, and that's my first time being in Omaha. I think
I ain't never been in Nebraska.
That was my first time. I was like, bro, what is in Omaha, Nebraska? Nothing is out there except him. From what I, you know, but he packed the house out. It was nice, and you know, he did his thing, bro. So I'm definitely happy for him.
Man, so let's talk about before we get back to you on Crawford real quick, man. There's a lot of talk going on social media about him and SPENCE, and you didn't sign the contract, and you didn't do this, and he said this, and she's man, this is getting crazy. Where the fight fans like me, we're just clamoring to see the fight, man. So what's going on with that fight? Are we gonna see that fight?
I don't think so. I did an interview at the Crawford fight. I was like, bro, I don't think we're gonna see that fight. You know, not next. At least I don't think they're gonna see the fight next. I would love to see that fight next, but I just don't think that fight gonna happen next, bro. It's just different sides of the street. You know, different promoters. Crawford is like a free agent, so he does what he wants, right? You know, so he fights on. You know, he can go wherever he wants, whenever he wants to. But Errol Spence is with Showtime and PBC and Al Heyman and stuff like that, so they only deal with that. So I think that's always that's where the trouble come in right there. Like they on two different sides of the street.
Yeah. So and I know people always ask, especially on Twitter, man, why can't you just make the fight happen? Why can't you? Years ago, I remember I interviewed Roy Jones Jr. I interviewed him about when he was going to fight Bernard Hopkins, and I told him, I said, man, why don't y'all just do paycheck for paycheck? He said, man, boxing is so corrupt that I can win the fight and still lose because I didn't knock him out and the judges went the other way. You feel like that's why
it's the most corrupt sport in the world, bro. People don't realize boxing is so corrupt. Like it's like when people say corrupt, bro. Like you really people
like some people look at some scores and be like, how the hell did that score?
Bro, it's just like man, it's just like boxing so corrupt, bro. I can tell you stories. We can go on, and you'll be like, man, it's criminal, you know. But just know, you know, for the listeners out there, just know like boxing is a very very corrupt sport, and that's how it is. That's how it's been historically. And, you know, like, you got to think about back in, like, the 1930s through maybe, like, the 60s, it was run by the mob. You know, probably earlier than that, it was run by the mob. And even today, it's still like that. But the mob has changed, right?
Yeah.
But it's still
the mob in suits. And
yeah. But it's still run by the mob, bro. People don't realize they still run kind of like the mob, but the mob has just changed over a little bit. The mob or the business that graduated from Harvard Law School and stuff. That's the mob these days. You know, it's not like the mob
not the street gangsters.
It's not like that no more. You know, they changed over, but it's still like that, bro. It's corrupt. It's very very corrupt.
But can Errol Spence go to Al Heyman and say, "I want this fight, man. Let's make it happen"? But why are there so many? Because I'm hearing things that Terrence had agreed to everything, and then it didn't. So I'm just confused. I'm like a regular boxing fan that's confused. Like, why can't two guys who hate each other just get in the ring and get it on? Like, what's the problem?
I'm a boxer, and I'm same thing. I'm just as confused as you. Like, why can't they make the fight? You know, like I can't see why they couldn't make.
What do you think the stumbling block is?
I think that it's with Crawford that he's his own entity. You know, and like I think that if he's not with the right side, I guess. You know, he's doing his own thing. Right, and you know, I don't think the people like that on the other side. They don't like that he's his own boss. He's doing his own thing.
Because boxing, you're normally with a promoter. That's how it's always been.
Yeah, bro. You have to it's kind of like you have to be with a certain clique. You know, and that's just how it is. And it's just. Is it
hard for some people in say in PBC or whoever they're with, Top Rank, Golden Boy, to fight each other in their own stable?
That's what they do. Usually that's what they do. They fight each other in their own stable. That's kind of how it is. You know, you fight people on your own stable. And sometimes the promoters can work with each other. You know, because PBC and other people, they can work with each other.
Yeah.
But it depends on, like, then that's when you go on different terms and stuff like that. That's when you have to, it's a lot of different fine print, you know. So, but with this situation, I mean, I don't know what's going on, bro. I really don't. I just want to see the fight just like everybody else.
I thought it was going to happen in November, and, you know.
Yeah.
Then you can. Then Crawford takes his fight with this David Antifreeze or whatever. You know, I mean, I know he was a European champion or something like that. I mean, but still, I mean, he got a lot of flack for that. But you think it's you know, all the stuff that he was getting on that fight for not taking a bigger fight or fighting Spence, you feel that was well deserved for him to be?
I think why not, bro? Listen, bro, he got, from what I understand, he got $10 million guaranteed, and then and that dude, listen, bro, you know, I don't want to talk too much trash about the dude he fought, but listen, it looked like it was an easy fight.
Yeah.
You know, and he got $10 million guaranteed for that. And what I'm hearing, he probably got even more than that. Now, one thing I probably know him, and you know, he's a businessman. He gonna get his chips, bro. He gonna get his money. So he not gonna play around with that. So if you get a $10 million guarantee plus you getting stuff on the back end and other stuff,
you gonna take it.
Why not, right? If I can't get if I can't get the fight I want, I'm going to just take another fight. I'll do the same thing. Who wouldn't do that? Everybody will do that.
Yeah, and although people want that bigger fight, sometimes it don't make sense. I mean, dollars got to make sense. You know what I mean?
Dollars got to make sense, bro. Dollars got to make sense all the time. You know, we prize fighters, we fight. That's what we fight for, the prize. You know, at the end of the day. So, he went, he did his business. He got to do it out. He knocked him out and stuff. He got his money. I mean, what else you want from him? You
think that they really did negotiate in true faith as far as like Errol and him going back and forth, or you think all that was talked about on Twitter was misleading? Or do you think they really actually came down to almost getting this fight done the way they try to tell people it was?
No telling. I mean, I think it's like a 50-50 type of thing, half and half type of story. You know, they probably said some things, but you know, probably just not all the details. So I don't know how
this fight ever goes down, how's it looking? What's it going? What do you think's going to happen?
All right, listen, I'm gonna break this fight down like,
because you were just there with Crawford, saw what he looked like.
All right, so look, this is my first time I ever seen Crawford live. I was right there next to the ring, and when I see him, I wonder how can he deal with Errol Spence's constant pressure. Because if you fight Errol, like, the jab will be in his face all night long. Mm-hmm. That, you know, he going to be throwing hard body shots. Errol is naturally bigger. So, for me, you know, and the dude, David Avanesyan, was, you know, he was pressuring Crawford a little bit, but he just didn't have the firepower. What's going to happen when somebody has that firepower? Now, on the other side, seeing Crawford live, I just seen Errol live a few times. How can Errol deal with Crawford's boxing IQ and his movement and stuff like that? Mm-hmm. You know, I truly don't know who can win this fight. I really don't know.
It's really a
50-50 fight. I really don't know who can really win this fight, bro. Because I think this fight is so good that you really just don't know. You
see an action-packed fight. You see somebody moving around first couple of rounds, trying to feel each other out.
Crawford gonna be. I mean, I can see Crawford moving around. You know, that's what he does. Crawford is he's very cerebral and he try to figure you out. That's what he does. He's like a chess player. He's a real, like, everybody's talking about boxing the chess, but Crawford is like, man, you can just tell how he thinking in there. He just want to break you down mentally. You know, he touch you with some shot, touch you up, touch you down, hit you with a few little shots to the body. And he breaks you down, and then, you know, it looked like around the 5th, 6th round, he started to pick it up. He started to and that, you know, when you got that, that mean you hitting a little harder. That mean you close them hands and them gloves. You putting a little power on it, and that's what he doing, right? So, man, I just want to see that fight. Bro.
Is that why his gloves busted up?
Yeah, I guess so, bro. His gloves was busted up.
I ain't never seen that before in my life. Somebody was saying too, they was like, how did the commission not stop the fight right then and there and fix them gloves? Because when he knocked them out, them gloves was wide open.
They was busted open. Yeah, So I was right next to his corner, right? Literally right next to his corner. And, you know, his trainer, Bomac, was like, hey, we got to change the gloves out. You know, get it over with. He was like, hey, we might have to start changing the gloves out. Go get it over. Because around the 3rd round, that's when they was all fussing. And they had to go in the back to go get his gloves, the new gloves, to put on him. And they was like, hey, his gloves busting open. So Bomac was like, hey, bro, like, you might have to change your gloves. Get this over with. And Crawford got it over.
Did that give him an advantage for the knockout, or you don't think the busted up glove? Because you wear gloves all the time. So is there an advantage if it's busted? Is your hand a little more harder,
it
heavier?
It's a potential. It definitely can. Like, I feel if it is an advantage, maybe not your hand be a little harder, but you could definitely cut somebody. You know, if somebody hit you if the glove is bust open on the side, you hit somebody right here and it scraped your face. You know, you could definitely cut them.
Have you ever seen that before? Glove busted up like that in the middle of a fight without being stopped?
Yeah. Muhammad Ali gloves were busted before. I mean, a lot of people's gloves are busted, you know, it happened, but like that, I didn't see that for a while.
The most thing I've ever seen is when the tape comes off, they stop it and retape it.
I didn't never
Busted up glove. I'm like,
the
man,
glove was
the
like
ref, because
literally
even after the
busted.
fight, Terrence was like this, like looking at the camera,
Yeah,
thumb
it
hanging
was
out.
all, yeah, it was all bust up and stuff like this. I don't know, bro.
Man, so you say it could be a 50-50 fight then?
I think it's a 50. I really truly believe it's a 50-50 fight. You know, like Arrow is the Arrow is a monster. Arrow is a beast. You know, he walk you down. He just beat you up. He's so strong, and he's a natural 147-pounder. Crawford is just so cerebral. You know, he just think the whole time. He always thinking. He always, you know, plotting, and he just a chess master. You know, inside of a boxing ring. And then he's mean. That's one thing Crawford is. You can just tell he's mean. When he get hit, he stick his tongue out. And he's like, all right, you know it's about to be over. He's like, all right. He like you know, do the Michael Jordan type of thing. So I just, for me, bro, I just want to see that fight before they both get too old.